tired, very tired. The doctor's very tired. But, sometimes when it comes to, traveling adventures, sometimes we want to go back to the past and relive some of those moments, I suppose. So let's try to ask a question in which, did the doctor love Joe Grant? But before we get into that, you know who we are. We are for you. Yeah, I'm wearing street clothes. The doctor's very tired. When it comes to the many companions that the doctor has had over, the many lives over the series, fans speculated on that he was in love with Joe Grant, played by actress Kay Manning.
You see, Joe, I may call you Joe, mayn't I? You see, he is one of me.
Oh, I see. You're both Time Lords.
Well, quite. Well, not quite.
Oh.
Not just Time Lords. We're the same Time Lord.
Please, you're only confusing my assistant. Joe, it's all quite simple. I am he, and he is me.
And we are all together, Goo Goo Kichu?
Mm-hmm. What?
It's a song by the Beatles.
To give us this answer, we will have to look at several episodes to answer it. Try to get this definitive answer. From her introduction to the episode Terror of the Autotons, the Daemons, Day of the Daleks, the Time Monster, Carnival of Monsters, and the Green Death, in which the character left a unit. So, let's get started. So, Terror of the Autotons, the episode premiered on June the 2nd, and it would continue on to January the 23rd, 1971. This one was a 4-part story arc in which the Doctor and the organization unit worked to stop the Master, a renegade Time Lord, from using a radio telescope to summon an invasion force of the incorporeal intelligent Destined to Earth.
I will not tolerate his presence.
Basically, they are just living plastic that can take human form. I do think that after Joe is, being hypnotized, that the Doctor, someone wants to be able to wake her. Say, Brigadier tries to wake her, others try to wake her, nothing was able to do it. But him, even as a friend, there would seem to be a connection, since, when we first met her, he's just say, I don't want a new assistant, I'm fine just the way I do. But he's even totally saying, well, okay, you gotta tell her to leave then.
I really don't think you're suitable.
I'm a fully qualified agent, Cryptology, safe breaking, explosives.
Firefighting? Yes, well, I'm sorry, my dear, but what I need is a scientist.
I took general science at A-level.
So I'm sure you did, but even so.
But he's said, I can't do that. So yeah, he had a little bit of trouble trying to say no. You could say that the Doctor was protective of her, but that's usually how he is when he meets new companions or currents, so nothing big yet. It is a very interesting episode, and it's a very exciting episode to go back to. In general. Let's look back at the episode The Daemons, which is a 5-part story arc in which the Master has a new plan to awaken the ancient Horned King Azel, a cavern beneath an English church, with the Master intending to be granted Ozzel's immense power. The story arc has moments of Joe not taking the Doctor's shenanigans, using his remote control car, Bessie.
Would you believe magic?
Magic?
No. Well, Joe would.
That's not fair.
Will you explain it then?
I don't know. Suppose you did it.
Naturally. Or should I say scientifically? Solenoids and a servo mechanism in Bessie, and a radio control unit here. You see how easy it is to be a magician?
How infuriating can you get?
One part of the story is that the Doctor gets frozen and, say the Doctor, all the other characters realize, oh, my goodness, he has two hearts. One part of the story is that the Doctor is constantly saying he wants to help her, improve, and he wants her to be a doctor or a scientist in a way. And showing that, one thing this kind of proves to me is that this is an example of wanting to help someone improve. And, say sometimes friends will help either, say, when they are down on their luck, they're trying to do better in life. And, that's always good. Although one thing that does happen, which I think is pretty exciting for this episode, is that Jo defeats the Daemon by choosing to sacrifice herself, but the Daemon dies instead because he cannot understand the act of sacrificing oneself for someone else. This is a very exciting episode, though. It is a very good one.
Make you listen to me.
Why should I? I see no consequence of value.
And kill him. Kill him now!
Very well.
No!
If you kill me now, you will wander throughout eternity whether you should have listened to my words.
Yeah, I see some bits of moments when it comes to the Doctor caring for Jo. The Day of the Dogs, a 4-part serial that went from January the 1st to January 22nd, 1972. Doctor and the unit investigate the attempted assassination of British diplomat Sir Reginald Styles, whose attacker apparently disappeared into thin air. The Doctor does seem a bit jealous at one point when Jo gets caught giving food to soldiers, because they're asked, say, hey, is there anything we can eat? And the Doctor does worry about Jo when she's in danger in this serial. But I'll be honest, there's one thing that is always rather prevalent when it comes to being a companion to the Doctor. And, he's always trying to say, hey, is my companions okay? How's Rory? How's Sarah? How's any of them doing? Are they okay?
I trust you betrayed our friendship. You betrayed everything that I've ever stood for. You let me down.
Then why are you helping me?
Why? Do you think I care for you so little that betraying me would make a difference?
I know how, that Jo seems to think the best, even when, you say the bad guy is working with the Daleks to, say, hey, I've tried to help the Doctor, but, yeah. Because, say, the bad guy of the episode is trying to, help Doctor, but he's trying to say, I'm actually working with it. And in Joel episode, where we see that the Doctor does care about her. The Time Monster. It aired on May 20th to June 24th, 1972. With it being a 6-part serial, the Master returns to seek power of Kronos. And
I command you to destroy this man! I command you!
Of Kronos, a being that exists outside of time and space, so that he can control the universe. From watching this classic series, I never realized how much of playing, you know, the character of the Master, how much fun he is, how much of a fun villain he is, where there are, you know, like, serials involving his character. And one thing I think is, like, say, oh, this is something, in which the Doctor does tell Joe a story about, like, you know, him growing on Gallifrey.
Was simply glowing with life, like a perfectly cut jewel. The colors were deeper and richer than anything you can possibly imagine. Yes, it was the daisiest daisy I'd ever seen.
In a way, it feels personal. And, you know, like, sometimes when it comes to having friends, sometimes we tell others, like, say, hey, this is something personal about myself, because, you know, we're opening up to that person. So, yeah, like, I think that is probably a sign that, like, you know, hey, when the Doctor normally tell, like, say, others, like, say, hey, this is what life was like for me. You know, the effects and set design for this episode are fairly well done. I kind of like that they have a bit of a Greek design for this episode. Let's look at the Carnival of Monsters. This story aired from January 27th to February 17th, 1903. The Doctor and Joe are trapped inside a miniscope, a device used by the showman Vorg.
An even more interesting, though less amusing, form of life is the Ogron. They are of limited intelligence and are used as servants by some race called Daleks, I believe.
To shrink life forms and put them on display for entertainment. The Doctor is rather protective of Joe when they are, like, you know, against the Dressags. Yeah, I think this is an example of, like, say, you know, trying to, like, say, protect someone away. But then, like, say, it's a giant monster, so, well, of course, it's gonna be more protective, I guess. But not so much kissing. There is moments of, like, say, like, holding someone's hand to while they're, like, running away and all that. So, yeah. But I'm not sure does that really count? That's probably just, like, say, just, like, a little gesture. The Green Death aired from, like, say, May 19th to June 23rd, 1973. It was the last regular appearance of Katie Manning as companion Jo Brand. In the episode, the organization of units investigates a South Wales mine where waste from an oil plant has killed miners and made maggots grow to giant size. The effects for this serial are really good, for the flashing green, for the, you know, miners and all that, along with the giant maggots, which look really good for this episode. I will say that, yes, like, this moments of this episode make a lot of sense to me. Like, although the Doctor doesn't say anything about how he's feeling when Joe gets married, you can tell, like, just, like, facially, that, you know, that he's saddened by this, and that, you know, what he does is he just gives her, like, her wedding present, and then he just, you know, sees how happy he is, and just goes,
Congratulations. For he's a jolly good fellow, for they are jolly good fellows, for they are jolly good fellows, and so say all of us.
I guess it's time for me to hit the saddle. But it accepts it. The next companion after this was Sarah Jane Smith, who in a way helped move him on when it comes to coming out of his shell. When it comes back to the character of Joe and Sarah would end up meeting up each other and meet the 11th Doctor in an episode of the Sarah Jane Smith show, in which the Doctor, you know, has to fight, like, you know, a monster or an alien, all that. And, you know, Joe asks, like, say, hey, like, how did you feel about me leaving? Like, what were your thoughts? Like, why did you reach out and all that?
I did sail down the Yangtze in a tea chest. How did you know?
That family, all 7 kids, 12 grandchildren, 13th on his way. He's dyslexic, but that'll be fine. Great swimmer.
So you've been watching me all this time?
No. Because you're right, I don't look back, I can't. But the last time I was dying, I looked back on all of you, every single one. And I was so proud.
And yeah, I feel like we get that answer. Overall, I think that the Doctor did care about Joe. And at the same time, sometimes I think it was sort of like, you know, I think it was platonic. At the same time, like, say, ever so often there could be signs of something there. But I don't think it was just like, say, oh, my darling, or I don't think it was anything like that. But overall, I really had a lot of fun watching some of these episodes. See you next time.